I said, are you ready? You are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans. Discussing football, basketball, news, trending topics. The one-stop shop for all things sports. Voice of the Fans Sportscast. Hosted by none other than Ben Swift Reynolds, Taylor Gatwood, 100% RC, Professor Damian Flowers, and Tyler Wright.
Hey guys, welcome to another special episode of Voice of Fan Sportscast. I'm your host, Ben Swift Reynolds. We have Sound Crow and Randy and Neil with us today. We got two boys from Canada. What's up, guys?
Hello.
How you doing, Swift? Good to be back, man.
Man, feeling great to be back, especially with y'all guys coming on. You know, always taking time out from y'all busy schedule to come on the show and just chat it up, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
ain't nothing like family.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
for sure.
I'm guessing that I am the black sheep of the family because tomorrow I am making my way to Little Italy to watch the Italy Bosnia Herzegovina World Cup qualifier soccer match, and then I'm going to BMO Field to watch the Canada-Tunisia exhibition match. So it's all about soccer for me tomorrow.
Man, it sounds like a busy schedule for you.
Yeah, well, I gotta manage my time somehow.
I know that's right. You know, too bad we couldn't talk about the World Baseball Classics last week. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, something like that. And too bad we couldn't get that in because I want to hear your thoughts, Randy. You know, especially us being Canada in baseball and hockey.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was fantastic. You know, I'm really a believer of international baseball. I think that there's enough of an international presence, especially with the Latin American countries, and especially the emergence from Japan and Korea, let alone here in Canada. And it was such a great tournament. You know, to see the passion, especially from the Latin American countries and the Asian countries as well. I got to tell you, in 2009, they had a couple of games here in Toronto, and I saw USA Venezuela. So Miguel Cabrera was on Venezuela. Omar Vizquel. You had Jeter, Vernon Wells. You had, it didn't really scratch the surface here in Toronto because baseball was kind of an afterthought. But if they had the tournament this year, it would have been madness. And,
they were stacked then, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and Canada had a great showing. You know, came up short against USA, but no, great tournament all around.
Yeah, unfortunately, USA couldn't bring it home, man. But shout out to Venezuela. I love the energy they brought to the tournament. You know, I was just like, man, baseball, they got something going on with this. You know, they got something very special with this World Baseball Classic, and I think a lot of Americans, they were actually not disappointed. They were just more disappointed in Aaron Judge's performance more than them losing, I'd say. I think we were just happy that Venezuela, you know, they was like, they really wanted it. And I think they showed a video of the pitcher crying before he threw the last out. So it was just like, that was amazing. Like, how can you root against that?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, I think Aaron Judge got some criticism because he said that the intensity was either comparable or more so intense than a World Series. But, you know, if you take a look at it, like how many people in Illinois and Florida were into the World Series, but you can imagine so many people in those particular states and throughout the United States. Is it fair to say that they were more interested in the World Baseball Classic? I think it's
I
fair
think
to
so.
say.
I think that's fair.
I agree.
think that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I can't recall the number of viewers they brought in, but it was astounding.
It was
How many
huge.
people
Yeah.
was tuning in. Like people that
Yeah.
don't even watch baseball was like, oh, I need to get home and watch the USA play against, Puerto Rico, whoever it was, Venezuela. So it was just like
It was
everybody
nuts.
was honing in. Everybody was honing in at that time, especially Japan. Japan had all them big names on their team too. So it's just like
Yeah. I
a
feel
lot
like
of
if
people
I
just
remember,
watching
they said it
baseball.
was. I feel like they said it was even more. There was more views than even the Super Bowl. Like it had it topped like the Super Bowl ratings that
Yeah.
year, if I remember correctly. Something like that. It was so massive. Like it had never been that many viewers before. And to top the Super Bowl is always the top viewing thing over here. So for the World Baseball Classic to top that, that's pretty intense.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I feel
But
like
the NBA. You think they should try to do like NBA players versus the world?
Well, I don't think it'd be a
Something
bad
like that.
idea. I think it'd be a cool idea. I mean, why not?
I think I definitely think so, but I think it needs to be a 7-game series.
Right.
And I also think that it should be in Europe.
Yeah.
I think that if they were to have this series in, say, Serbia, because if you guys haven't seen video of a basketball game in countries like Serbia,
Mm-hmm.
they are absolute lunatics.
Yep.
And it would just be like they got flares going off in a 20,000 seat stadium.
Mhm.
And, I think that, I could see, especially with the World Baseball Classic being in March, that the series should be in the United States. I'm not a fan of it being in Miami because Miami is a terrible sports town and it's a small
is.
stadium. I don't know what I'm guessing that the temperature is, palatable in, say, Arlington. Houston's got a small stadium, but maybe even Los Angeles. I think
LA.
they've had the final in Los Angeles, but if they could have it in a more bigger stadiums that have more of a sports tradition, I think it would be great.
Yeah,
I feel like
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like if they did a whole world versus USA type of thing, though, if that was the format, it would have to be like a 7-game series, like a true event, not just a game, an event. And whether you want to do the whole thing in one location or you want to do it like a 7-game series where you got 2 games in Europe, come back to the States, something like that. Who knows the logistics of that? But I think you'd have to make it more than just a game.
Most definitely, because especially athletes of that caliber, it has to be a series because you want to know for sure who's the best, not just because anybody can win on any given day. Anything can happen. So when you string along 3 straight wins, you know who's the best or whatever. And because I seen something on Instagram where they had Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and SGA. Like, could the NBA stars really beat that squad? Wemby, all on that team. So I was just like, that is a legit question because I don't know they would be able to beat Wemby. Could we throw Embiid, like a healthy Embiid, on that World's team? Cause he tried to claim he was in America. Then like, now I'm claiming France. So
he took the easy way out, man.
He took the KD approach.
Yeah, he like we got the best chance of winning. I think he would probably choose the world if he saw that lineup. He like, yeah, I'm going with those guys.
Oh yeah.
So
it was hilarious when. It was hilarious when Embiid said that he was trying to honor his son. Get out of here! I mean, that's why he went to go play for USA.
Say you want to win, like nobody.
You want to gold medal, go for it.
Right. So, and speaking of Embiid, Paul George came back, and Embiid back, and they did beat the Hornets 2 nights ago. I think it was like 119 and 114 or something like that. With those guys locking in, George, he had a good performance in that Hornets game. With those 2 guys locking in, Neil, do you think they have a legit chance of making a run in the playoffs?
It always is going to come down to this question with Embiid: is he going to be healthy? Because if he's healthy, he's always done well in the playoffs for the most part. Now he's had a couple bad series here and there. The prime example being 2019 against Marc Gasol and these Toronto Raptors. Probably his worst series as a professional. But I think that the guy, he came back. I think he's been back. Him and PG both been back for 2 games. Both of them put up monster lines in both these games and beat quality teams. Say what you want about Charlotte, but they've been one of the best teams in the league since 2026 began. And their team looks phenomenal in some ways and got a bright future. But again, it's going to come down to health, man. It's going to come down to health. The one thing I think that they got going for them this year is they've really given the keys to Maxey. It's no longer a question, is this Embiid? PG already know it ain't his team. He's a side piece. But Maxey, what he did at such a young age, like I remember that New York Knicks series where that was a great series, Knicks and Philly a couple of years ago. And Maxey it was almost like his breaking out party. And now he's turned into a bona fide superstar. Everything these guys could have hoped for and even more. Not even a lottery pick. But you got these 3 guys all healthy. You're going to have a chance, I think, in any series if they're all healthy. And if PG looks like this, I think PG took his PED scandal serious, and he took that time off to rest his knees and, maybe get a German injection in them 1-2. But these guys look great the last couple of games. They've had moments during the season, but again, Philly, very inconsistent history, even when healthy. But the only shot they got is if they're healthy. So I do think that it is possible they could make a run because, there's a few teams up there at the top of the East, 4 or 5. I could see any combination of a few of those teams being in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Philly's one of them.
Yeah, right now, Philly is 7th, so they're in the play-in. They are 1 game back of Atlanta, 1 game back of Toronto. Randy,
and
they can make that run.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one dominant factor is the 5 slot there. Neil invited me to the Sixers game, and Joel Embiid was just so dominant. There was no Toronto did not have an answer for Embiid. I mean, and who in the East really does? I mean, like Neil was saying, if Embiid is on his game, then with Maxey and say whatever you want about PG, that the Sixers should be in a great position. I mean, I know that we're going to talk about the Knicks for a bit later on, but I mean, the East is so wide open that this is a real opportunity for them to make that run. And with a healthy Embiid, I think it's a great time for Philadelphia to make that run.
Yeah, they making that run at the right moment because they not too far behind. Like you said, the 5th seed. Shoot, they are 5 games back of Cleveland. I don't know if they're going to catch Cleveland, but they getting high at the right time. Even Kelly Oubre showed a little bit of something the other night. So it was like these guys, I think they said the time is now, and they feel like they probably can make a run, especially with the Nets and the Celtics and Detroit. Detroit losing Cade. I don't know. Is he out for the year, Cade? Or he's coming back?
He's out for I think he'll come back, but it may not be.
Not the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So who on that team? I know the Cleveland probably can have somebody that can guard Embiid, but the rest of the teams, they really don't have a guy that could match up with them and hang with them. So it's gonna be interesting how they put everything together. What about you, Sam? You think they can make that run?
I think anything's possible. I mean, again, things change on a dime, and like I've always been a big believer too. Certain teams, they can just heat up at the right time, and they just need that opportunity. So, I don't think the Sixers, especially if NBA everybody else is healthy and they're clicking and firing all cylinders, anything's possible. I would tend to agree too that if they're going to do it, this has to be the year to do it because it only can get tougher, and how many opportunities do you get? So. If they play their cards right, they are not that far out there. I don't see why they couldn't. So, and it's kind of hard because I'm always saying critical of Philly teams because they just never seem to step up in certain cases. So, and I'm going back early years in the Sixers, back in even the early 2000s there, when they had, dominant teams then couldn't do it. But, anything's possible. The league is different now too, so there's always opportunities. And I think this is they got a good young core talent. So, I think they can challenge. And so they gotta want it. And the question is, how hungry are they? Are they determined to do it? And can they prove that they belong there? And if they do that, I think it's possible.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought Paul George was like done. Like he must call LeBron up, be like, hey, who your knee guy? I know you went overseas and got some shots.
Yeah.
So who's your guy? Hook me up.
Well, I'm gonna say this: a couple X factors with Philly. One, I would say, is their defense, because you brought up the point, Swift, about Embiid, or someone brought up the point about Embiid and who can really match up. He's dominant offensively, but his knees is shot as well, and his whole body shot really. How's that going to match up defensively? Because as much as other teams may not be able to match up with him, there's going to be teams that are going to take advantage, spreading out the offense, moving around the perimeters. Embiid's going to be a lot of times, unable to keep up defensively. And so Philly's problem, and as many teams that do well in the regular season throughout history, and then they don't meet expectations in the playoffs, it's usually the defense that gets them. And so you got teams like Boston, for example, experienced, solid on both sides of the ball. That's going to be a very tough matchup, but Philly always plays them well. That's the thing about Philly, is they always play Boston well. And another thing, we know that Philly's got elite coaching, okay? We know all about that in Toronto, Nick Nurse. Much respect to him, always will. But the other thing then is and great veteran leadership. Again, my Canadian homerism, my guy, the GOAT, the GROAT. Greatest Raptor of all time. He's on there.
Kyle Lowry.
You're gonna be chirping on the bench. You're gonna see him not sit down. He's basically an assistant coach at this point. And then this kid, Edgecombe. I love this kid. And what a fantastic rookie. He's had already like a slump, but if he gets back to how he was playing at the first start of the season, the kid's got a beautiful future ahead of him, and it could start right now. And just remember, they're locked into Embiid for 4 more years, $250 million. So it would be a great thing for Philly fans for him to make a run this year, just to validate that, hey, you can sit this guy for half the year, but come playoff time, he's shown that he could be ready.
Greatest Raptor, even over Bosch and Vince Carter.
Well,
and
definitely over Bosch. Definitely.
Okay, I'll give you that. But over Vince Carter, though?
Absolutely over Vince Carter. I mean, Vince Carter.
Wow.
Vince Carter was not a winner. Kyle Lowry was a winner.
And
I don't know about that.
You don't have to win. I don't think it's something you always have to win. I think there's the more iconic.
Yeah, I didn't think Lowry's that good.
So Carter is more iconic to non-Raptor fans, NBA fans in general, but to Raptor fans, Lowry's more iconic to many of us.
Okay.
And I would say that his stats. Hey, look, there's two sides of the ball. Didn't you hear what Victor Wembanyama had to say? There's two sides to the ball when he's making his MVP case. And Lowry's defense was elite, where Carter's was always middling to below average. And I mean, look, Lowry's a champion. You can't deny it. And,
I'll say this though, as a Celtics fan with 18 championships, I don't care. So you can,
Hey, half of those y'all won when it was on like 18s in the NBA, Sam. So
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I just love when guys my age start claiming Bill Russell's championships as if they was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
That's how Bill.
I was there. My great grandfather was there.
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 of those. To be fair, I've only seen 2. So
you got 2.
I was alive for those.
I do have to say, I don't really agree with Neil regarding Kyle Lowry being the greatest Raptor. Now, I will say that why shouldn't Kyle Lowry be a first ballot Hall of Famer? 6-time All-Star, NBA champion, captain of the Raptors. He has all of those credentials. But the way I see it is that Vince Carter was the reason why fans were buying tickets to go watch the Raptors. And I think Vince has more of I think Vince was the reason why so many kids in Canada got into ball more than Kyle Lowry. I mean, I guess it's we'll wait and see what tomorrow's kids bring.
Fair.
But I think that Chris Bosh, you were saying, Sam, I don't think Chris Bosh should have his number 4 retired. Personally.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, not that good.
Yeah,
but Kyle Lowry is the most accomplished, but I think Vince Carter is still the greatest. And quite frankly, I'm not a Nick Nurse guy either.
Yeah, I think it all depends. How do you measure greatness? Because look, Vince Carter.
I think it's different ways. I think people have different measurables of greatness.
But who are the Raptors before Vince Carter? Vince Carter put the Raptors, made the attention of the league, because who did they have before that? I mean,
well,
just saying.
You do have a point. You do have a point. In order to be great,
Vince Carter got us attention. Kyle Lowry got us respect, and Vince Carter may have led the league. Mr. Carter may have led the league in dunks a few times, and he made them look spectacular. I love
quite a few times.
I love Vince. I love Vince. But Lowry led the league in charges, just as an example, multiple times, and that's a winning stat right there. That's a winning player. You don't see that. You don't hear about it. You don't know about it unless you're a Raptors fan for the most part. But that's how you win championships, is doing things like that.
Wow.
Before DeMar left, was he not more beloved than Kyle? Why
DeMar DeRozan? I thought he was.
Very beloved. Yeah, absolutely beloved. And a lot of guys, including myself, wish that he was here on the championship team. But we needed that upgrade. You know what I mean? And,
but Neil, wouldn't you say Raptor fans loved DeMar more than Kyle?
I would say that at a time. Yes, before he was traded for Kawhi, I would say that DeMar was a little bit above Lowry in the rankings.
Yeah, because I think that Lowry, obviously, there was a trade to the New York Knicks that got nixed.
Yep.
Pardon the pun. But it was rejected by the league, and who knows what would have happened if Lowry did go to New York.
But he was actually rejected by James Dolan.
Oh, was it really?
It was. Yeah. Yep.
He was having still traumatized PTSD from being swindled on that Bargnani trade.
Oh yeah.
Fair point.
But I think that there is something superficial about Vince, because fans just gravitate towards somebody who could dunk. And I think that's the reason why Steph Curry is never in the LeBron versus Kobe debate.
That's a great one.
And
was
Kyle Lowry an all-star starter? Was he top
Great
3?
Question.
Was he top 3 in the league at any point during his time in Toronto? And I have a hard time saying that he was top 3.
Great point. So,
But that said, Toronto's a little interesting in the sense that it doesn't always have to be the greatest player for fans in this city to adhere to. A number of hockey players that are not destined for the Hall of Fame, but they'll never have to pay for a meal in the city. And I think that Kyle Lowry is certainly one of those guys. I mean, he deserves the second after he retires that he's going to retire a Toronto Raptor. He already said that, and no one's ever going to wear number 7, and rightfully so. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I definitely see what Neil is saying with regards to how Kyle Lowry got his hands dirty. He put it all out there. But with regards to getting Toronto on the map, I don't think without question that it's
well, let me tell you this. I was at the jersey retirement game for Vince. I was there. I was there live. I saw the speech, and it was a great night. The reception was amazing for Vince, after he had gone through emotional roller coasters with Toronto over the years, But I think Toronto respects him greatly now, loves him. Glad that he's sort of back in the fold with the organization. But I can tell you, when Lowry's jersey retirement night comes, the ruckusness of the crowd will be much higher, and I can guarantee that. I was there. I hope to be at the next one.
That's valid.
I can promise that.
Well, let me say this too.
Into the arena.
Let me just say this. I agree with Randy too for this. But growing up, I've watched Vince Carter play, and I will tell you, I didn't know who the Raptors were until I saw Vince Carter play. That's why he put them on the map, especially the dunk contest and all that stuff. So I think the argument is it's fair. Each player has done something for the organization. I think that the agree to disagree thing could be they both have had their contributions, if you will.
Yeah.
It's a situation where I respect both sides, both opinions. I have mine, but I respect the other.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. No,
Fair point.
certainly.
So I know we talked about the 76ers, the Knicks, they had their share of troubles in the playoffs. And the question is, can they actually go into the playoffs and beat contenders, like the Cavs or the Celtics in a series? Let's start with you, Sanko. Do you think the Knicks can actually go in there and beat some of these very good teams in a 7-game series?
I don't know, because I have faith in Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I mean, they put pieces there, they invested for a reason. I think it makes them. I think this year's team might have a better chance than last few years, but that Eastern Conference. I mean, even I'm shocked. Even I didn't have much hope for Boston, because I'm like, with Tatum, being hurt, and some of the key players that they lost, but they're still in contention. Like, it's going to be hard there. Same thing I would say, like, for the Sixers. I think anything's possible. I think, again, I want to see which team. Obviously, the old saying is the team that's the hungriest, that wants it the most, is going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Knicks have it in them. They could do it. It depends on how badly they want it. Because that could be, the way it stands, it could be a wide open race in some of those spots. So you never count anybody out. It's just, I'm just curious as to the tempo. Are they going to be able to keep up with a Cleveland or a Detroit? Because they got a lot of young talent who can really, they can run the floor. I mean, there's some of these teams, they're scary good. You wouldn't think, but they're in those spots for a reason. So I don't want to be totally negative. I will say I hope so. I think they have, like Philadelphia, they're both got competitive pieces there. They have the potential drive. But it's really going to be that Eastern Conference is really going to be a dogfight.
Yeah, it's just with the Nets. I don't know what it is, but they just have lapses in their games. It hits in sometimes hit in short periods, sometimes hit in longer periods of bursts where they go on a drought. I can't put my finger on why this team can't succeed like they should. Neil,
well,
you have a good? Oh, go ahead, Randy. If you have,
well, no, I mean, I think they really, I guess, what is this the first full season with Anunoby there? So
I believe so. Yeah.
This is at least
the second,
Or second,
right?
maybe.
Yeah,
Second.
he
Yeah.
was there,
So it's the
last
second.
year, right?
Now, is Karl Anthony Towns going to be the guy to stop Joel Embiid?
Great question.
I don't see that. I don't see that. So I think that's where they lack in a sense. Now, the team itself, you gotta be very impressed with the likes of Anunoby,
Hart,
Towns. They have. There's the other one that I'm drawing a blank on. Mikal Bridges, Brunson. So I mean, why can't they do it? I think that with me, like, I'm not a Karl Anthony Towns guy. I mean, I just see that guy hanging out way too much along the 3-point line, and with somebody like Embiid, like, you just feed it down low. Now, obviously, Embiid has an outside shot, but I'm always the kind of guy that wants to see your big man down low. And Karl Anthony Towns is not that. So I don't think that they could win with him at as their 5. So maybe that's where it falls short on. I mean, I think that Karl Anthony Towns is he's going to be the X factor, and I don't think he's going to be the answer for Joel Embiid.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Randy. I think Karl Anthony Towns, in fact, is the X factor, but it's like for a dubious reason. It's because, well, the way I see the Knicks, man, is like you see their talent, like those names on their starting lineup, man. Those are like 5 big names, all of them, really great at certain things. All of them have elite skills in certain ways. Say what you want about Towns. He's a pretty elite offensive player, but he's a very lacking defensive player. So the problem with the Knicks over these last few years with Thibodeau is, A, they played way too many minutes, and B, they were a very isolation-type team. They didn't have great movement. They were just relying on skill to go one-on-one with guys and wasn't really running good sets. Then that led to them being taken advantage of defensively because they were always isolation on the offensive, burning, not playing free, not playing fluid, not playing efficient. And so then you got, like, basically, sieve like defenders like Towns who can't guard a grapefruit. You know what I mean? And so to overcome that type of imbalance, you got to have elite coaching. You got to know exactly when Mitchell Robinson's supposed to be, and you don't have no room for error. So that's where I think the Knicks have fallen, because teams like Boston, even though they beat Boston last year, I get that. It took two amazing, like unbelievable comebacks because they were hitting that isolation offensive game at its peak. If they do that for long enough, if they got good coaching, they could win the championship or at least go to the finals. But that is a lot to ask from a team that is so inconsistent, to Swift's point about how they sag during the season and go up and down in quality all the time.
Yeah, it's the quality of play. They can't keep it consistent. It's always fluttering. I don't know. They get bored because they score so many points, or I don't know what it is. It just seems like they take themselves out of the game. That's what they take themselves out of the game. Like they stopped doing what's working, and they like, oh, let's start jacking up all these threes. Let Towns go ahead and just shoot it from right there. It just throws wrenches in their offense, when I think Townsend can be more effective if he had mid-range. Like if he can work the mid-range game like Wemby or Kawhi, that'd be hard. That's money. Like KD always get to that spot. That's money. If Towns had a game like that where he can get to a spot mid-range, that's money 24/7. Like they said, the bank is open. So I think that's the next problem. They have the firepower. It's just, do they have the mental fortitude to keep doing what they know works and stick with it? So it's gonna be interesting.
I really don't know why. I don't know why Karl Anthony Towns doesn't go down low much more. Like, do you guys see him as much of a banger? Because like with that,
he can be.
He is.
He can be, but doesn't.
I have a lot of memories. He was doing that in the playoffs last year. He was
he was being aggressive, but sometimes he just regresses. Like he go back into his shell. Yep. Like, why you keep going back into your shell and selling? Yeah. Stop selling and put it out on the floor.
The problem is he can't turn it up on defense. So his defense will always be a negative. His offense, most of the time it is, but it can be problematic too. So
what's so crazy is that these players been playing basketball their whole lives, but defense actually energize you more once you get that skill, get that block.
Absolutely.
You a shock of like, all right, we on the run, we getting back on offense. It's like, I don't get it. Like defense, when they saying defense win championships, they want to line because it gives the team a boost to do what they need to do on the offense side of the ball. Like,
the crazy thing
every time you see LeBron get a big block, what happens? It turns into some type of crazy play on the other end. So, like,
Game 7,
put it in work and make the stops.
And you know what? The crazy thing is, it's the same in almost every sport. You just saw the Seahawks. Hey, what? Defense wins championships. Most NFL champions, I guarantee you're going to see an elite defensive team more than you're going to see an elite offensive team.
Yep.
You can win a Super Bowl with defense alone. Throw Trent Dilfer out there. Throw a grapefruit out there. You're gonna get the same.
Well, when you got Ray Lewis and those guys,
even our Saints team, the year we won, we had a defense that created turnovers consistently. Like we were number one in creating turnovers, and that gave Drew Brees a short field to pull points. That pick six versus Peyton Manning. That was
Tracy Porter.
The story of the Saints team the whole year. Creating
Tracy Porter, babe. I remember that one clear as day. That was a good one.
Speaking of Peyton Manning, when he won his only Super Bowl with the Colts, that was probably the best defense he had throughout his whole Colts run. So
even the Broncos, going to say Von Miller was the defense that carried him against
that
Seattle
team too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I saw KG say something very interesting on his podcast. Let me see, can I pull it up real quick? He said today's game is much faster, much more technical. It's a bit of a show, a bit of an event. It's not a sport. Randy, is he correct? It's not a sport. It's just a show. It's more entertainment than anything.
I didn't see KG's podcast, but I think that he's insinuating about how much more of a shooter's game it is, and Yeah, like, look, I don't know if I want to see the game go to, the fisticuffs that took place in the 80s and the 70s and so on. Uh, and, these players today are, uh, they're treating this like a 12-month a year, 365 days job with the off-court training and so on. Like I don't think KG's regiment was like that when he was in his prime. I could be wrong, but it is more of a shooters league. We're seeing that as power forward centers rely on a shot more than ever. So in that sense, perhaps. I mean, I think that KG missed his point, but I mean, we are seeing so many veteran retired players saying that, oh, if I was back in the league, then I could do A, B, and C. Like, I mean, give me a break. Like, I don't think that's so much the case, but yeah, there does seem to be an element of, uh, a missing down low presence, and maybe that's the only thing that's missing. So I guess I think we all see what Garnett is saying, but it's still a great show. I mean, it's still a sport, but yeah, maybe it's all some of its physicality.
Anil, what's your thoughts on it?
I agree with KG for the most part. I also agree with Randy. It still is definitely a sport. But when I saw KG say this, for some reason, and even now, I just thought of a particular moment in NBA history, and it was the 2005, I believe, finals, which was Detroit Pistons, Bad Boys 2.0, and then the Spurs with the big three there before Kawhi got there. And I just remember because I remember watching that series. And it was 7 games, and I personally, as a big basketball purist, I would consider I loved that series because there were a lot of big names. Everyone had skill. Everyone had elevated ball IQ during that series, and it was problem is that every game was like 78, 82, 90, 86. It was a banging series. Guys were playing defense, and you'd have to take pleasure in watching like the defensive battle and cutting off shots. Now in today's NBA, the way that they've filtered this down into I think the big thing about KG's comment is it's an offensive league now. It's not a defense and offense league. It's just geared towards offense so much. So many injuries are happening, I think, because guys are just running so many more plays per game, like premature Achilles like Tatum and Dame and things like that. But, they went away from that, what I thought was more representative of basketball as a sport being physical, highly skilled on both ends, with both ends being capable of winning a game. I still think that's the case today because in the end, I think the defense, you're going to have a good defense to win in the playoffs, but the sport itself has been, I think, filtered down to a bunch of offense, more easy fouls, more scoring, more threes, and less physicality and defense. And when you take away one side of the ball so heavily, I do agree with KG's point that what they're trying to do is maximize the show, maximize the ratings, in other words, and at the expense of what slows down the ratings, which is the defense and the physicality. And so, unfortunately, those things are so important to it being a sport in the purest form. And so, of course, it is becoming more like a show, I think, but still a sport. Still a sport and still very entertaining.
I agree with what both y'all said, Neil and Randy. I want to throw one more aspect in there. Rivalries. I think rivalries is really what make it a sport. There's not enough rivalries in the NBA. When you play sports and you go against that team, you're like, yeah, I know that guy. Me and him got beef because he beat me last time, so I gotta get back at him. I feel like that's not enough in that NBA. We see Wemby and Anthony Edwards. They have more of that dog and more like me versus everybody. I feel like you know what kind of player KG was. He went at everybody, he tripped at everybody. So I think that he's seeing that everybody is like, oh, you shoot the ball, like, oh, you score, then like I'll score. It's like it's nobody willing to get into each other's face and actually compete. I think that's what he's really saying too, that nobody's not really competing. They out there put on a show behind the back, here, throw an alley, let them dunk. Curry shoot the deep three, and that's the show. It's not really
Globetrotter-ish,
the rivalry.
yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like head bunny. It's not like guys going after each other.
But
So,
I think the thing
I
that's
see that-
missing, I think the thing that is missing though, Swift, is that what you were talking about was Ant-Man versus Wemby, but it wasn't the T-Wolves and the Spurs. Like, I mean, is Stephon Castle going at Rudy Gobert? Like when we saw the Pistons and the Sixers go at it, like it was team versus team, the Bulls and the Knicks.
Yeah.
It was Barkley and it was Jordan and Pippen
Jordan
and
and
Grant.
Barkley too.
Well, sure,
yeah.
but it was the entire team itself, right?
And that's the problem I think that a lot of these older basketball players have, that nobody's not following the lead of the actual leader. If Michael Jordan had a problem with the Pistons, guess what? The whole Bulls team,
Yep.
It wasn't just one player like, Anthony Edwards got a problem with Luka. No, man, it puts him in the whole T-Wolves team have a problem with Luka. It's no really camaraderie with the players. It's more like individual type thing going on now, which is I see what Wemby's trying to do, and I think it's rubbing off on the Spurs players, but it's still people just see that it's Wemby versus that guy. Still the Spurs versus the Timberwolves, or when Luka's with the Mavericks versus the Timberwolves because of how they was heated and how things went down versus those two teams. I think that's what, in my mind, that's what sports is. It's rivalries.
Yeah.
People going at each other.
To your point, Swift, man, look at you mentioned Jordan. I mean, there's not a situation you could point to today that you could match up to the anxiety and sort of stress that Jordan must have felt going into Detroit in a big series, especially losing all those years and then, getting that revenge factor up, that deep hate almost, that like that hate he's got to have, that vengeance
that
factor
drive.
that he had to have had to even be the GOAT. Anybody that's in that conversation, even to a lesser degree, much lesser degree, in my opinion, LeBron, he has that too. He has that vengeance factor against Boston that one year. He had to get past them. That you saw that look in his eye that one game. He had it, so it's there in some ways. But Jordan, I mean, you don't have that type of thing now, or what it was like back in the day where Boston had to go into LA going into Boston way back in the day. Like, it doesn't exist today because all these guys got each other on social media. They're all friends. Everyone
part of the same brand.
All these big players got one friend on every other team in the league.
Because you remember when the Lakers played the Celtics was a month ago? Back in the day, that would have been a big blockbuster promo. Lakers going to Boston, blah blah blah. They've been showing the highlights of the older games and everything. Nothing. It was just like, Lakers versus Celtics. Tune in tonight. That was it. It was like,
that's
all right.
Well, you guys answer this question for me because you three are more into football than me. But don't you guys think that those rivalries exist in football? I mean, and don't you think that there is a camaraderie sort of friendship sort of deal in the NFL as well? Like maybe it has something to do with the players changing teams all the time.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
And now we are going to get two more teams with Seattle and Vegas. And is there not enough stars to go around? Or
good point.
And if I may be frank about this, has the American players taken the foot off the gas? Because I think we are seeing that more and more.
For sure.
Like who was that Kobe dog that just wanted to win at all costs, and LeBron, well, I don't know if you could put LeBron in that category, but
I wouldn't, but
like who is that hungry next one coming out in a place like from like an American standpoint?
Exactly. Well, actually, I was gonna say to that point, Randy's point. That's great when you mentioned Kobe, because that's the first thing I thought about. That year, he's playing on a broken ankle, and he engineers the Lakers. He wants that playoff drive. Who's going out there playing hurt now? These guys don't want to play hurt. And the other topic we can mention this question. I agree with KG's point as well. Just because, take the NFL for example. If the NFL goes to flag football, for example, because of the restrictiveness. Is that more sport? Is that more entertainment? Well, what happens if you can't tackle a guy? What are you watching hockey for? If you can't body check a guy on the ice, I'm not saying, to Randy's point too, you don't have to, or I think it was Neil, whoever said fisticuff. We don't have to have fisticuffs, but you got to have some action, because if you make it too soft, or if you want to call it that way, it is purely about the entertainment. I think the sport factor becomes watered down where, and again, same thing, any sport, these guys back there, Jordan's out there scuffling with guys. He wasn't afraid to do that. Not saying, again, you have to. You don't have to have these bench clearing brawls like you see in baseball. They clear, one guy goes, the bench is clear. You throw a pitcher. I do too, but I'm just saying, you don't have to necessarily let them fight. Yeah, but you see how the teams get involved. But one guy, but when you make it too, when you take that soft approach, and again, Randy's point, the American players, who's going out there and who's stepping, who is that guy? I don't equate LeBron to, I mean, again, no disrespect to LeBron. I won't diss him that way. He's had a great career. He's doing a lot of good things. But is he on that level, Kobe? Is he going to play hurt? Is he going to have the fire that Jordan had to engineer those championship runs, to take the team on his back? Now, granted, LeBron's in his twilight years. He's not 18 when he was coming out into the league. But when, again, you look around, I mean, yeah, you got guys. Luka there's coming up, Wemby. There's some young talent that has potential. But really, who's that guy? Who's going to be that face of the NBA, if you want to say that, for example, like who's going to be that energizing factor there? I think that's part of the point. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, let me get to 2 points first. Randy brought up about the NFL. I think the NFL is a little bit different with the buddies, because you still got to get out there and hit somebody. Once you you gotta be crazy to play football, Randy. That's just
yeah.
how it is.
I hear you.
Something gotta be mentally wrong with you to play football. So once you put that helmet on, it kind of like, you just see the other team uniform, you're going to hit them. You're going to, you ain't trying to hurt them. You just want to let them know you're there. So I think NFL with the hitting is kind of like the French is gone. Like if Sam Cole came in and just knocked me across, I came across the middle and Sam Cole laid me out. You think, nah, I'm saying I'm going to get them back. It's just like, oh, I'm going to catch a touchdown and say it now since he's going to hit me like that. So I think that the NFL, they in a great position because it's like a gladiator sport. You going after each other, you hit each other. But with the American player for the NBA, I think Anthony Edwards could be that guy, but he's immature.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want responsibility.
Right.
He just want to have fun.
I think he'll get there. He'll get there.
He can.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He can change the game for sure with a lot of these young players' attitudes.
But I think I definitely agree with Neil with him saying that he'll get there. And I mean, obviously, I don't know if you guys saw the clip of him and Barack Obama shooting hoops. Like the first time I saw Anthony Edwards and Barack Obama, like Edwards was just like he was basically talking glorifying himself and so on, and it just made me cringe. But it seemed that Obama loved it. And then him and Obama got to shooting hoops, and Obama was throwing it out there. It was wonderful. But maybe, and Anthony Edwards is just, he's the first one to start the trash talking. Maybe he's not saying that he is the guy because he knows he doesn't have a winning team yet.
Maybe
like he knows that he's not going to win a championship with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if he was on, say, the OKC Thunder, maybe he would go out there and say that. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. I don't think I'm far off in saying that, though.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
So maybe there's something to do with that. Because, I think all the characteristics are there for Anthony Edwards to be that star, to be that leader, to be that go-to.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the support pieces around him.
But
Neil, do you think that Minnesota's going to win a championship?
I think they had a good chance the last 2 years. They were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
That's fair.
I agree. He's not. That's partly him not being in his prime or what he could be at his peak, but that's partly his team. I think it's a combination. But they had the potential for sure. So I think he's got a good team, and he's got a chance. But I just wanted to add on to Swift's point about rivalries in the NFL compared to the NBA. Look, basketball has always been my favorite sport throughout my time here. But right now and for the last few years, the NFL has far and away been my favorite league. And football is just it's the ultimate, because you talk about these rivalries. What makes a diehard sports fan, into something, or even a casual, you got half the team, every team, Randy. Half the team's job is basically to Hulk smash some other guy on the other team.
Yeah.
And the other
True.
half of the team, their job is finesse. So you got brute force and you got finesse. And the fact that every receiver, every running back, every quarterback relies so deeply on their offensive line, and how defenses work as a unit, that everyone has to cover for another man's weakness or ineffectiveness in an offensive scheme. The reliability, the interdepartmental reliability, you could say, is off the charts higher than compared to the NBA, how important coaching is, how nuanced coaching is. So, the NBA can be, I think, has been manipulated away from some of the good things about it in past decades. Whereas the NFL, even though the NFL has become a nicer league, guys are friendly to each other a little bit more than in the past, it's still a league full of just dogs and guys who have to get up ready and with that look in their eye to have success. And so you're always going to have better rivalries, more consistent beefs with the other teams.
Yeah.
And just kind of a more product that has that, what I was talking about with Jordan, that edge that you got to have that maybe is missing in the NBA today.
And what do the NFL stand for? Not for long. So don't guys, if you're not a superstar, if you're not a superstar, you bringing it every Sunday. Cause I gotta feed my family. Cause if not, my backup gonna take my job. Cause if I don't play good enough, somebody else right there in the wing gonna take it. NBA, you kind of like, you probably set, you probably good. If you're in the starting five and you playing decent, you don't got too much to worry about unless you just got like two other guys on the bench are just great players or good players. So,
especially nowadays where like a role player gets the same contract as a superstar in the NFL or in some other league. These guys get the money, and a lot of them maybe take a step back in terms of their desire or ambition to be great.
But Neil, how many times do teams play each other within a division? Is it 6 times? Like, do the Raptors play
the NBA?
Oh, NBA?
5 times, I think. 4 or
5 times. Okay. Because what I was wondering, because in NFL, each team plays within their division twice. In 17, going to be 18 game season, I suppose. So maybe that there is a lack of interdivision rivalry. Like, when you're playing 5 times, that's a fair deal. Maybe it does have to be 6 or more. Play the other conference once in the Western Conference arena, and then the East, so 2 times total, 3 times, 4 times in the other divisions. But I was wondering if there was kind of something there, because in a city like Toronto with the Raptors and the Blue Jays, we don't have that back and forth rivalry. Like, we're kind of on the outside looking in, where, you have the Yankees and the Red Sox. You have Michigan and Ohio State. You have, I don't know, the Army versus Navy. I don't know. But
that's a good one.
The Raptors and the Blue Jays, we don't have that. The Maple Leafs, you could say the Montreal Canadiens. You ask a Montreal Canadiens fan, their biggest rival is the Boston Bruins. So I think that we're missing that dance partner, Neil.
That's fair.
Like, who's our
rivalry is Canada versus everybody.
Yeah,
well, that's true.
That's true.
Canadian sports, we flop a lot in the finals of every sport that we make, whether it be hockey or basketball. Except basketball kind of gave us that we were fighting against ourselves, basically.
That taste.
We were at a rivalry with ourselves,
or the U.S. there.
Randy, you're talking about number of games. Personally, I don't think playing more games into division will increase rivalries. The NFL is not only, like you're talking about what KG said. Look, I kind of broke down why the NFL is a better sport, team sport, more magnetic, exciting. I think for myself, even though I still love basketball as a sport the most, just personally. Sure. But the NFL is also the best event. So you're talking about whether the NBA is an event or a sport. The NFL is the best in both, because you play so few games. The rivalry is 1 game at home, 1 game away. It's like
make it count.
Yeah,
everything counts. Everything counts. Everything's big, magnified. So, they just do everything right in a sense, as far as the sport, and you know the NBA is kind of going in a way that maybe isn't the best.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
All right.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Let's move on. All right. The WNBA new CBA has been reached a deal, I think 2 weeks ago, I want to say. The new salary cap is at $7 million. The average revenue share is 20% across the deal. Supermax is starting at 1.4 million. The average salary in range 600K, minimum above is 300K. So they made, well, I think what they saying, the minimum above was last year was 300K, now it's 600K.
Yeah, they doubled. Yep.
Randy, how you liking the new CBA deal?
It seems that the WNBA is on the rise. Now, I don't know when they started making a profit because, for the first, close to 30 years, they've always been in the red. Now, you could say a number of reasons has garnered a lot more interest in the WNBA. I'm personally looking forward to when the tempo tip off next season. No, I think the WNBA is in a great position now. For anybody who thinks that WNBA players should be making 10, 15, $20 million a season, I mean, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
But, why shouldn't a WNBA team have chartered flights? Why shouldn't they? Now, obviously, if the league cannot afford it, that's a different story. But they seem to be in the right direction, and it's obviously fantastic news. And it's a league that is certainly growing, and probably going to see more and more teams throughout the next 5+ years. So good on the WNBA.
Sound cool. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think we talked about this a while back there. This is part of the discussion, unless it's still in the works, but like, you're not going to reach NBA level, obviously. I mean, and again, like to Randy's point too, where did they get all this money? Because they were in such a hardship when it all started way back when. I know they're trying to keep up that similar style like the NBA is doing. And again, I fully agree with Randy of, the salary wise, should it be as equal there too? I think that's pushing it a little bit, but in all fairness there too, I think that, that financially should be elevated a little bit. Again, unless too, like the league is hurting and stuff, but I think it's only fair for the players too. I mean, again, I know and they always argue this, the apples, oranges, males, female, and all this stuff, but the players put in the time, they put in the work, they're playing the games. I mean, and I know there's that competitive, we want to be paid fairly equally and everything too. So, I don't see why there can't be some kind of adjustment where, and we said too, like some of these sports, if you get hurt, you're taking shots, you're taking these, you're putting yourself out there, you're grinding, you're doing everything like anybody does for their job. You want to be compensated fairly because, something happens or, you want securities there, all that stuff. I think it's only fair that they get paid that way. So, I give kudos to the WNBA. Again, they're definitely on the rise. I think they're trying to be that focal point in entertainment, which I think they're starting to do because the people are watching it. Obviously, it was big when Caitlin Clark came in the league. She obviously helped to change that. It drew a lot of attention there with the Fever. So I think it's a good model for that. And who knows what avenues that'll open up in the future if it continues to grow. But I think it was warranted, and I believe that it was a great move on the league's part.
Yeah, now the WNBA need to get better at promoting, so they can generate a lot more. Don't be scheduling Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. While I'm at my son's baseball game, think I'm gonna have enough time to get home to watch it. Yeah, so better scheduling. What you think, Neil?
I'm always in favor of people coming up and women as a whole. I mean, look, I really didn't watch too much women's basketball until the last couple of years, but they're immensely skilled. Like they play a little different. It's obviously they play the game a little different. It's a little more finesse, but they show a lot of skill and teamwork that a lot of men's teams don't match up to. Now, obviously, you could make differences on whatever, but it's not really comparable, in my opinion. Women do some things extremely well, and it's fun to see. You're not going to see the dunks, but you are going to see the nice passing, the teamwork, skillful play, and they're getting better. So the more they're going to get paid, the WNBA is just going through the same growing phase and growing curve as like the NBA did back in the day. Players continuously, as the league gets more and more following, money, ratings, deals, guys and ladies will get paid more, and so the WNBA will continue to rise. I hope they do. And look, Toronto's about to get a WNBA team. I got a daughter; she's young, and when she gets older, I want that to be a team that she could go see role models, be playing basketball if I had my way, and just take the games and shit, be able to afford dinner after too. You know what I mean? So it's all good with me, man. I hope that they do well. And not only that, they'll attract a lot of these foreign players, European players that are getting paid more in Europe.
There you go.
To come play here and allow us to go enjoy their games more.
I think Neil's got his retirement plan there. That's a good idea. So if your daughter played, you'll be all set. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like they needed to be paid more. It was no way that Asia Wilson shouldn't be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark and the girl from Connecticut Sun, the woman from Connecticut. I was like,
Connecticut Sun. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's just like some of these they need to be paid that much. They show the talent on the floor. They were always competitive. You know, they weren't taking plays off like some of the NBA players, games off. You know, they was up in there grinding, Paige Buckers and all them women. So I think that they did them right by increasing the pay, especially that's their main job, traveling to games. They need to be accommodated. They can't have a second job, maybe in the off season, but when you're a professional player that's linked to the NBA, they need to get paid as like that's their job. Take care of lives and everything like that.
It took them a long time. It took the NBA a long time until Bird and Magic came in. And the NBA was in real trouble apparently until Magic and Bird came in. And I got to tell you, for somebody who's not into college basketball at all, I took to notice Caitlin Clark at Iowa and Angel Reese at LSU and Paige Beckers at Connecticut. And the in terms of NCAA basketball, especially in the last couple of years, I noticed the women's game a heck of a lot more than the men's game. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. And maybe it's because these women are playing 4 years. I think they all played the 4 years. I don't think they have the exemption in WNBA, right?
Yeah.
So is that one way for now? I don't know if it's going to get to the point where women's basketball is going to have one and dones, but when you have 11, 10 teams and so many teams moving and folding like they did in the 90s and 20 years ago, what do you expect? It's just been such a recent thing where women's basketball players are generating that kind of revenue. So, it was a long time coming, and shout out to the Cheryl Swoops and the Lisa Leslies of the world. But
Lisa Leslie,
they weren't able to do it.
Pioneers.
But now is it because the corporate America didn't see a profit, didn't see a possibility in linking up with WNBA?
Could be.
I don't know.
But corporate America is definitely seeing it now.
Sure.
I think the game is just getting better.
I
think social media having more eyes on the game is what
that helps too.
WNBA, because the only time you could watch WNBA games, you catch it on TNT or something.
Yep.
like hours before NBA game, or it was the broadcasting wasn't that great back then for those
There's
games.
for sure a lot of people that learned about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese through social media, and not through actually watching them on TV.
Yeah,
and so
I like
seeing what Caitlin Clark doing her magic. Like looking like Steph Curry, the female Steph Curry. So at times, a lot of people caught eyes on reels or this and that, and then they start paying attention, and that's a very powerful thing. And so yeah, that's definitely.
I think social media was the key into the rise, and cause you kind of have you get to see the insight of the player lives too. Caitlin Clark come off the court. You didn't really see much of that, unless you watching old tapes of NBA players or they're holding specials about the player. So we get like real-time insights of the player leaving off the court, real-time, interviews, and we get to see Caitlin Clark off the court, seeing her as a person. So it like all that combined just boost up their ratings. I would say that.
And
sure.
I certainly think that there was a maturity process, especially from a man's perspective as well.
Oh, yeah.
Where
for sure.
That, yeah. Now, obviously, 60, 70 years ago, maybe even 40 years ago, 30 years ago, a woman's place was not in sports. And when you're seeing, when you're seeing an athlete, taking glamour photos and modeling opportunities and so on. Well, I mean, male athletes, how many times do we see Russell Westbrook with a wide open shirt?
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Yeah.
That's Russell Westbrook. Randy Brain.
Before he said Russell Westbrook, I'm like, Randy got to say Russell Westbrook.
I'm going to say, yeah. Like, I mean,
that's awesome.
But there, and I mean, there's still something about say tennis players and the comments of their looks and so on, the kind of social media hate and so on. But Tom Brady got that too.
Yeah.
So David Beckham gets it. So now women are joining the party, and it is great to see.
Recognition, yeah. Long overdue.
Shout out from Billy.
Oh, yes.
Said, hey, y'all, love the Toronto team support.
Hi, Bill.
I like Bill. I like Bill.
Hey, Bill, go ahead and subscribe to our boys and VOF in Canada. Go ahead and subscribe to the
He is in Canada, actually. Bill is in Canada.
He got the Expos.
Yeah.
Who is that? Born ready, baby.
Vladdy Jr.
Who is that?
Vladdy Jr.
It's Vladdy Jr.
I was gonna say, actually, Bill is in Canada. He's in East Toronto, actually. So he's in you guys' neck of the woods. So he's a hometown favorite.
This Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his dad played for the Expos, and this is an actual picture of him as a young child at the Expo Stadium with his cap.
I watched him for years. Yeah, I watched Vlad Senior for years. Yep.
And Vladdy Jr. was born in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there's going to be a bobblehead night with Vladdy. The pose of the bobblehead is of Neil's shirt in the Expos jersey. And I actually picked up a ticket because I want to line up and try and get that bobblehead.
Just for the bobblehead.
Just for the bobblehead.
I would do the same thing for that bobblehead. That's nice. That's really cool, man. He said the Jays stunk tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into a little bit of baseball. I want to ask y'all about your Blue Jays. How y'all feel about this season? Since we just started with the opening day. He said he went to a Jays game in early '80s at the X. That was an experience.
Yeah. You know what? The Jays, my first game, went to a number of games at Exhibition Stadium. It was a full circle moment. My father took me to my first Jays game for my 7th birthday. And then they tore down the old stadium. They put up the soccer stadium. And then on my birthday, my 36th birthday, went to a Toronto FC game. My dad was there, so it was like a full circle moment. It was wonderful. Yeah. It was wonderful. But there's a lot of Jays fever around here, and obviously with the Maple Leafs, just going into the complete garbage bin. and we'll see what happens with the Raptors. But I think that there is a difficulty. The moment Toronto fans could sense that the Jays might have something cooking. Last year was a complete fluke because nobody was expecting the Jays to make the World Series, let
Gotta
alone
say,
the
yeah.
playoffs.
Nope.
But when you have
That's
teams
all.
like the Yankees and the Red Sox in your division, it's hard to cheer because especially with the resources that those two teams have. I mean, they're the two of the most powerful franchises in North America, and they're in the Blue Jays division.
Yep.
But there's so much promise with this team. It's a team that is just so likable, and that run last year was just incredible. So I'm actually going to the game as well on Wednesday, and
Nice.
I'm going with my parents on the 12th. They're playing Minnesota, so
There you go.
it's Jays fever. And,
Let me say this. As a Red Sox fan, however, last year I have a Vlad Jr. jersey. I was rooting for him in the World Series, so I defected for that series. So I'm not a complete hater. I'm not I do support the up and comers. Let's just put that there, okay?
Well, it was either us or the Dodgers, right?
I will not support the Dodgers. Yeah, so
we lost that series, but even though we lost that series, and don't get me wrong, it's horrible to lose that way, but
it stings. Yeah,
you come away from it, and you feel as a fan base, like Randy said, it was so unexpected, so empowering. We all feel like empowered that we got a squad that can win a championship, and we all know this. So we know the expectation is there. The expectation is not, let's see if we can make the playoffs. The expectation is we know we can win. And so you look throughout history. Look at Kobe in 2008, losing to Boston. He knew that he had a team, came back, won the next 2 years. LeBron, first one against Cleveland. They took GS to 6 games without Love and Kyrie. Next year he has Love and Kyrie. He knows this is his year to do it in Cleveland. There's lots of history where a team will lose one, and then they'll come back, and that's when their run really starts. Maybe baseball's harder to be great multiple years in a row, unlike basketball. Even football is pretty tough by comparison. But the Jays are not the Dodgers, but 100%, we got a good shot of making it back to the dance.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, was it 93? Was it 1993 with our last series? And I was I was a baby.
Was the last time
I was like 4 years old. I don't remember that. I was like 4 years old, but I mean, you got to be energized when you see this, and that's why like I said, as a Red Sox fan, I was pulling for the Jays, not just because I don't want to see the Dodgers, but to see the energy and the fans were excited about. This is the first time in 30 some odd years that you actually have this shot. And to be honest, I know it stings. I'm not saying it to make it hurt more, but I think they could have won that series, to be quite honest. I think they had every opportunity. And then, of course, you lose at home. You lose up in Toronto, which is even worse in front of the whole crowd. But, potential, the future is bright. So I think they'll be back, and I think they got a long road ahead.
Yeah. Y'all should hold your heads up high. Y'all play against the Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. That's
and
tough.
Just with so many things that were that took place in Game 6 and Game 7 with Barger's shot on the Barger's.
Gotta go talk about it.
The hit, the ground rule double that got stuck on the head.
Rip the scab off.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna rehash the past. But what I will say is that I was 14.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, I was 13 in 92 when they won. I was 14 in 93 when they won. My father was at Game 6 when Joe Carter hit the home run in 93.
Nice, yeah.
And it as a 14-year-old kid, it was incredible. But as a 14-year-old, I didn't appreciate it as much as I did when the Raptors won in 2019, let alone when Toronto FC won in 2017.
Yeah.
And man, I would have been in the hospital with alcohol poisoning if Toronto won, because it was Halloween night, Game 7.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was decked out as a Toronto Blue Jay, so I could have had mad women coming. Anyway, I'm not going to go. But
is that what it is? Maybe I should be a Blue Jay this year.
We know why you don't hate the Dodgers for the rest of his life.
Yeah. I don't know if Bill is from the Toronto area.
He's
but,
from East Toronto. Yeah, he said East Toronto. Yep.
Oh,
Eastern
okay.
Toronto.
Right on. Right on. So,
So
yeah, sorry. It
let's
was a
let's
great
go on
time.
and talk about some Bills real quick. We was gonna talk about the Jets, but you know who cares?
We don't
about
even talk
the
about
Jets?
that.
They
They're
gonna
just
suck.
Jets,
They
so
gonna suck
just
again.
skip that. Yeah, forget that.
This is Jets. You know I'll just say this: the Jets are doing stupid things as usual.
They
So,
are. They don't learn from the past,
All
so
right,
that's repeat. It's
but
over.
I had to get this question in because Neil's on here. He's a Bills
Oh
fan.
boy.
So
Oh wow.
everybody was going crazy about DJ Moore. He's a good player. He's a good receiver. He's not a true number one like he used to be in Carolina. So my question is, do they have enough to make the Super Bowl run?
Oh, for sure, man. It's kind of like a lot of these teams. You could say like the Bills almost are like the Clippers back in the Chris Paul days. Every year you think that they're a contender. They make it various degrees in the playoffs, but they're good for so many years in a row. It never really stopping. So we always got a shot. That's the problem. And I truly believe that we would have a Super Bowl if it weren't for Patrick Mahomes, and he's our boogeyman. And two ways about it. I accept it. I respect game basically, and P. Mahomes is better quarterback than Josh Allen throughout their careers, no question. But Josh Allen, I think, can have a longer peak, let's say, than perhaps Mahomes. And maybe some signs are already showing, or maybe Mahomes is just having a little lull in what will otherwise be like a resurgence later. It's possible. But Allen is fantastic. He came in very raw, much rawer than Mahomes ever was early on in their careers. Right. And he has become elite in the finesse, nuanced areas of passing while still maintaining his physicality, size. The Bills, man, they have a good team. They were lacking in run defense last year, but that was the only major hole, I would say, in their team. Coaching was average. McDermott, I always liked him, respected him, but it became average and predictable a little bit. And so one thing I'd say is that with DJ Moore, he's not the only addition. We seem to be taking on possibly washed up guys that have had big names in the past or even currently, but at the tail end of their prime or past their prime, and we're giving them big money. So something we'll see. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Chubb, Moore. It's every year it's like this. It seems. Replace Joey Bosa with replace Von Miller with guys who have But I do think that we have as good a shot as anybody else. And we still got, in my opinion, the best QB in the game in any given game. He had a bad game against Denver, the best defense in the league in Denver. So, a lot of things stacked against there. A lot of great quarterbacks would have multiple turnovers in games like that. Maybe if things were different, things could have been different. But I still think he gives us an amazing shot every single year. Team.
Not one quarterback I can think of, but
I'll
wait for my turn.
Well, I'll look at this. Like I mentioned Peyton Manning before. He had how many years on the Colts? He won one title. How many Swift's Saints? Drew Brees, so many years, and he has one title, which they had to have one of the most epic plays in the history of football to win.
Well, and Neil's gonna like me. What do you think my team is, Neil?
Buffalo.
Oh,
okay. It's Kansas City, yeah, aren't you?
Six titles in Foxborough, man.
Oh,
Gillette Stadium, 6 titles.
That's true.
Yeah,
One guy.
he is a Patriots fan. Oh man, I didn't plan this, Neil.
Me
and bringing Patriot fans on.
But I tell you this, I'm gonna tell you this much right now: is that when the Bills win a championship, because I've been a fan for 25 dang years or longer, that first one is gonna feel so much greater than any of those Patriot championships. You know what I mean? It's gonna.
If they win, Neil, I'll take you myself. If they get there, I will take you myself.
Look, I tell you this. When Dirk Nowitzki won that championship with the Mavericks, my personal pick for greatest individual run of all time for a single player was Dirk that year.
I'll give it to you. Yeah,
he was unstoppable.
But that championship meant probably the happiness it gave to that city is probably like 3 championships won by Boston or some other team that's kind of buys them up, like the Lakers, for example. So the Bills will have one of those type of championships.
Yeah,
the championship for Cleveland.
Yeah,
Cleveland
had one of
that
those.
they're gonna take the whole year off. They're like, nobody got to work again.
Lockout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the Saints won Super Bowl, I remember Flowers was there. He's a Colts fan, and I remember the last play we won. I was just like, I just started crying. Like it was just like, man, like you've been down
Pick
for
six.
so long. You feel the anguish, you feel the disappointment year in year out,
Yes.
and when you finally win, like you're not even celebrate. I wasn't even celebrate. I was just like crying and Flowers like, you deserve it, bro. You deserve it. I was like, yeah. Like,
two things I just want to say. Two things I want to say on the Bills though is that DJ Moore, I don't think he's washed up. I just think that he wasn't utilized well in the last year in Chicago. They wanted to prioritize young guys.
He hated Caleb.
He was still serviceable and he had some huge plays. He's gonna love playing with Josh Allen, man, and this team. Like when he was on Carolina, he was an amazing player. He had a good years in Chicago. He's still only like 28, and the other thing, probably the more important thing, is will Joe Brady be head coach material? Because, things could go sideways, but I think there's potential for him having like what Ben Johnson had with Chicago last year, elevating a team that had a lot of deficiencies, a lot of holes, and just his magnetic energy. It went through that team and they did big things. And so I hope that Brady got some of that Ben Johnson in him. And that would go a long way to us fulfilling our destiny.
Yeah, I say that with DJ Moore because I feel like y'all still need that big target receiver. I know y'all still trying to get AJ Brown, even though y'all had DJ Moore, but I think the Eagles. I don't know what kind of game they playing. First, they're like, all right, yeah, we train for this much. Then when somebody give them that what they want, they're like, nah, we ain't taking that.
Bills need like a T. Higgins type.
Yeah, they need a guy to win. I know DJ Moore can win the jump ball, but y'all need that big. Like we thought Keenan Coleman was going to be that guy, but he just didn't pan out. Well,
he's the type of kid though. He's the type of kid though where I think his immaturity holds him back a lot. Physically, I think he has the tools. So it's just a matter of will he lock in? Like for example, like George Pickens did with Dallas. That was a knucklehead for a few years. But as soon as he goes to Dallas, and even in his last year in Pittsburgh, he had moments, but he just was full-on superstar last year, and he seemed, less diva than usual, more about business than usual, and he had a fantastic year and was a top fantasy player in all aspects. So, I think Keon Coleman in the future, maybe not next year, might have that type of serious next level that suddenly happens out of the blue.
I kind of like Shakir a little bit more. There, I think he could be a guy there too. But that's
he's great, but they're both small, like him and Moore. They don't have a big.
Yeah, they're the Cole Beasleys there. They're the slot guys. They're not the big body receivers. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our last topic. MLB. They implemented the ABS system. A lot of fans. I want to say it's about split. I've been reading comments and people talking about. I think they split. I think people, when they think about baseball, let's just think of the human error aspect. Making it, more human than what they try to do to it. So I think that's what the fans are really grappling about, some of them. But do y'all like the ABS system? I know they showed an umpire, I think yesterday.
C.B.
Buckner. Like four his calls. It's four his calls got overturned or something. It was something crazy. And they're like, see, this is why we need it. This is why we need it. What star are you, Randy? Do you like the ABS system?
Absolutely. There was a World Baseball Classic game where USA versus Dominican Republic. It was an incredible game. The game ended on a questionable strike call, and if ABS was there, that game would have continued and it would end the proper way. And sure, there was a lot of tradition with umpires and making the call. You got the one chance to get the right call, and we can't have games, especially championship games, playoff games, just games in general, be decided by an incorrect call. So 100%. And just how they rolled it out, where a batter has 3 seconds to decide whether to challenge it.
Right.
And I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on the challenge system in football, but in tennis as well. Like, you have to have a way where the players decide the outcome of the game. So
Absolutely.
I think it's a fantastic. Baseball has really overhauled the game a lot.
Yeah, for
With
sure.
the pitch count,
Mhm.
with the shift, the intentional walk,
The
now
marketing.
this ABS system, marketing. Yeah. I mean,
All
this
of
is a
it.
game that was steeped with so much tradition.
Mhm.
Like,
I would say it's the sport on the biggest come up out of the 4 major American sports. It's had the biggest trend rise relative to where
Yeah.
they were before. NFL's always
Yep.
up here, they're not moving much, but they're always up
Yeah.
there. Basketball's kind of baseball's like ping,
They're trying to
and
catch up there. Yep.
hockey's also gaining popularity in the States and is on a pretty good upswing in the States, I would say as well.
Yeah. Yep.
absolutely. And you have to think with I think the NBA does have a real problem. And with baseball, like Neil said, the popularity that it's got, I think the World Baseball Classic has a lot to do with it.
Right.
And in 2030, I believe, or 2032, they're going to have baseball in the Olympics. They're not going to have it in LA,
Yeah.
which is fantastic because those Olympics are not going to be during the baseball season, I believe.
Mhm.
So, it would just be more and more reason for international baseball to take the spotlight, and it's just going to do so much better for the game.
Yeah, first I had mixed feelings about the ABS because I'm all about human error. I think that will make sports entertaining. Like the missed call, like, man, did you see that? But
Sure.
I get it. You got to end on a good note. You can't like the Saints no call. That
Thank
burns
you.
me
I
to
was gonna
this
say
day.
go there. Yep.
That
Thank you. Yep.
burns. Like,
Absolutely.
how can we not tell us that? Like,
Stevie Wonder
So-
could have saw that. Yeah. I mean, come
so
on.
as a Saints fan, I get it.
Yes.
I want to see the correct call happens because
Yeah.
it affects a lot of people, like emotionally.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't want to go to work the next day at the Saints no call. I ain't want to talk to them. So baseball, they getting it right because they only get 2 challenges, right? If they win, they keep their challenge.
2 incorrect challenges. Yeah. So if they get
Yeah.
it right, then they keep
So it's
they
not-
keep the 2 challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not overbearing. It's pretty quick and like it don't take that much time. So I kind of a lot of people say it slows down the game. No, it don't take that long because they're using the tracking system, so it keeps it, already in the system when it see the ball's pitch. So I don't see no problem with it. Just make sure the people call the right calls, and they're like, well, they're gonna make. Well, I'm about to say they're gonna say they gonna get rid of umpires at some point. So I don't know they're gonna get rid of them. I think they'll just let them work with the system better.
Yeah, and I mean the fans get into it when there is an ABS challenge. It's that instant. It's like tennis where they see the result and the fans are cheering, and it's a really great element to the game. So because the excitement level is increased with ABS, it's a win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What you think, Neil?
No, I'm a fan because I'm always a fan of getting things right. Whether you got to take out human error out of that. Look, human error happens in the game itself by the athletes. That's what the human error you want to see. Human success, human error, and the battle of the wits between these two teams. But you don't want that human error coming from the guy deciding the game and the outcome of certain plays. So I'll always, for every sport, I'm a fan of, getting things right, but using them sparingly. That's why I do like the challenge system. It takes, know-how how to do it in all these sports. Now NBA, NFL got challenges, but in baseball in particular, the degree of, I think, subjectivity on a lot of times the umpire's part, sometimes it's like mind-boggling what they actually see compared to what happened. So definitely I'm in big favor of it still.
So I do have a quick question. With the system, do the team only get 2 challenges or the batter only get 2 challenges?
The team.
The team.
The
It
team.
should be the
See,
team.
that's tough. Cause I seen a batter yesterday. It was I think it was the Cubs game. I can't remember it, but the ball was a little bit on the outside. He challenged it, and he got it right. Then the next play, he challenged it again. He got it wrong. I was just like, the other teammates like, yo, don't use the ball challenges. Like,
Mhm.
like what about the important part of the game when you really need to use the
Yeah.
challenge? Still like the second inning, you like, I'm challenging that. I don't like that call. Like,
Yeah, no, but I mean,
crazy.
It shows a lot of an importance for the batter to be accountable as well.
Yeah.
Like
For sure.
I thought
Neil,
reckless of him, just challenging away. I'm like, come on, man.
like Neil, when I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you did, when Siakam was still on the Raptors and they had the challenge implemented while he was still in Toronto. Every time Siakam had a foul, like he's telling the bench to review the play, and it was clear. Yeah, he did it all the time.
Everyone does this now.
Yep.
He does
NBA
it all
players
the
love
time.
this.
And he reviewed, and when we're seeing it on the replay, it's a clear foul.
Yeah.
And Siakam was so notorious for that. But it does show that players do have to be accountable when they're at the plate, right? Because you could put the team in serious jeopardy if you're reckless with the challenge. I'm actually going through it.
Does the manager call the challenge though?
No, the player, and he has 3 seconds.
The batter calls it. The batter calls it.
Well, it's the batter, pitcher, or catcher.
Right.
So, and they have 3 seconds to do it. It doesn't give the team.
But the team only gets 2 challenges a game.
Yes, that's all.
Incorrect.
So some headstrong batter might just want to take up the challenge for himself.
This batter
not do it at the right time of the game.
Away.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
Although I said Neil, the batter was tapping away. He's like, I don't like them. I don't like them either. Dude,
that has a whole other layer to it too, right?
No, and actually, I picked up the newest video game on PS5, and they had the challenge system. And,
nice.
And I gave up my challenges like within the first 3 batters because I got them wrong. And it's even as a gamer, which I'm far from, like it's really cool to keep an eye on that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So now there's gonna be trouble big time.
So there's gonna be big games now potentially where like a 9th inning is gonna come around and everyone's gonna know that was a ball, not a strike, but they have no challenges left, and everyone's gonna be cussing the guy who used up the stupid challenge in the 4th inning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, why you use the challenge in the 4th inning?
Yeah, why you use it on 4th inning?
Nobody on base.
Oh, clearly you struck out, man. Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sam Crow, what's your thoughts on it?
So my thought first, I want to say this. Like I have a great parting gift for, well, at least not everybody but Randy. So for Swift, I'm going to send you that footage of that play from the Saints game for you to watch later tonight, so you can relive that moment of history there for yourself. And for Neil, I'm going to say I saved it. There's a reel. It was Tom Brady playing golf with Josh Allen. Josh Allen presented him with specialized golf balls that have the Lombardi Trophy on it, and Brady said that's pretty impressive considering you've never seen one. But that being said, that's my one parting shot, just in all funness. I like it too. I think, again, it's the same thing with the challenging, like the challenge the calls. You're trying to improve the game. I mean, I do agree to Swift's point too. It's back in the day, and I go back, like I remember the days of Lou Piniella managing when the call's wrong and he's kicking dirt on the umpire. Like you miss those blow up moments. Like you want some passion behind it, or even Buck Showalter. I'm kind of named some other managers out there barking at the the calls and all this stuff, but Piniella was just the favorite because obviously he was always so flamboyant whenever he got upset. But and again, to Randy's point too, like you said, clutch games like that, you do not want to miss a bad call. You don't want to lose a bad call. I forget even like just in the NFL case, what playoff game was it? They were talking about something like that where the penalty was missed and the game could have went a different way.
The Bills game, it wasn't a catch.
Right. So like something like that, you don't want to risk that, right? Because you want it to be accurate. So, when you have that, and I think any kind of system, there's still going to be errors. I mean, nothing's foolproof. Right. So even with that being said, I think it's just meant to enhance the game more. And again, we're in a digital age now, right? We're in a new era. So obviously it's the times that are changing. It's just not the 70s or 60s anymore. We're in a whole new generation of the sport. But I like it. And, I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups to work out. Everything that's new and it comes in always has some kinks that you have to kind of figure out. Like, they said, is it 2 challenges for the game? Like, are they going to change a few things? Will they adjust it? trial and error, that kind of stuff. Will they get it wrong sometimes? Probably. Maybe it'll get right, but they'll figure it out. But anything that's going to improve the quality of the game and that gives you a chance to at least eliminate as much human error. I mean, I think you're going to still have some, but if you can get rid of the really blatant human errors, let's say, I think that's really huge. You're trying to statistically be better at making those calls and getting them just right. So anything for that, I'm definitely for, as long as, again, it enhances the game and it really just makes it more for the fans what they want to see and just helps the fun.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think fans want to see that like for most of the game, but when it's critical time, crunch time, especially, that's when people like me personally, and I'm sure most others, like they just want it to be right. Doesn't matter how long you take. If that happened all game, obviously we'd get really annoyed, but it has to be in crunch time.
Just key moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely happy about how the MLB is progressing, trying to get more fans to watch the game and get more eyes on it. So pretty cool to see them implement that system. All right, guys. We brought to you by Bet Us. We got your game. Plus your best with Bet Us. We got MLB, college, basketball still going on. Hockey. So place your bet with Bet Us and win you some money. Neil and Randy, man, thank y'all for joining us. Where can they find y'all guys?
Yeah, at VOF Canada on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Threads. Neil and I, we've missed each other the past couple of weeks with just busy schedules, and that's essentially that. But hopefully, Neil, and I, we were thinking about getting together this week. Well, we'll see what happens this week. Hopefully next week. We have a lot to talk about with, I guess, the Final Four would have taken place. Baseball's
Duke, man.
Basketball playoffs coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lots to talk about. Great. The Masters as well, Neil.
No, the Masters.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. Neil and I are big golfers. So
really? I tried my hand at golfing and didn't turn out well.
Yeah, Neil and I, we're going to go back onto the links really soon.
There you go.
Man, that's great. All right. Oh, man, I feel like we probably need to do a show with y'all guys, like at least once a month or something. Try to fit in a matchup with Voice of the Fans of Canada and Voice of the Fans. Hopefully we can bring more of our guys from each of our shows on and have just one big show. But yeah, we definitely need to think about doing that at least like once a month or something.
Oh,
we all stay so busy with scheduling. Too bad we didn't get to talk about Tiger Woods. He need to have his own driver or something, man.
Yo, exactly. Well, one small tweak makes such a huge difference, eh?
Yeah.
Just change the game plan this much, man. This much, and you'll be fine.
In a nutshell.
You could tell that he's going through something. All joking aside, it's like
I know, man.
It's not good.
His eye was just like his eyes was like straight.
Oh yeah, man. He looks so buzzed out. Oh my god.
Yep.
Just brutal. But yeah, get off the driving, man. Like
how many times?
I know you make way too much money. Like hire a cousin. I'm pretty sure you can find a cousin or a nephew. Absolutely. Like pay him a couple of dollars, drive you around or something.
I'm thinking 3, Neil. Like he was trying to drive away from his wife when she found out that he was messing around.
That was one.
He got into that accident where he almost died.
Yeah,
and now this one.
This 3.
Oh, and he also got arrested what is that? 7 years ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
it wasn't an assault, was it?
No, he was caught with he was under the influence. Yeah, I think he was drinking.
Tiger just basically went from like the ultimate mega athlete to he became sort of like a tabloid superstar, and then had that 2019 Masters that sort of was like an incredible resurgence. But then he went right back to kind of
making headlines for the wrong reasons.
Tabloid guy.
Yeah.
When you have
the injuries
money, you just have access to too much. When you have that kind of money, you just have access to like crazy.
You gotta be smart.
There's a great comedian actor. You guys may know him, Norm Macdonald. He passed away.
Yeah,
the guy's one of the greatest, in my opinion, of comedians of all time. But he had this amazing thing said about Tiger Woods, how Tiger, all these in the DUI, his wife, isn't that? Yeah. If you think about the amount of women that were throwing themselves at this guy on a daily basis, by calculation, by relatively, this is the most faithful man alive.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm sure he could get his fair share. I mean, he's not even that good looking a guy.
Money, Randy.
Well, it's the money. Come on, Randy. It's the money. You know what I mean?
All about the money.
Exactly.
Powerful tea.
Yeah, I know.
That's powerful.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my goodness. So man, it was a great show, guys. Man, I always have fun when we link up. Hopefully, man, other guys we can get them to link up too.
Yeah,
they scheduling. But man, I can't wait to do this again. I appreciate y'all, all the hard work and support we get from my guys in Canada. And like I said, if y'all ever want us to come on the show, just give us a holler and
for sure
make something happen.
For sure.
I kind of want to do more interviews too, man. I kind of want to try to set up more interviews with guests and like have us come on and just do shows with them.
No, I mean, and there's a lot of people that are eager to do it. You'd be surprised how generous some people could be.
There you go.
You got that right. Maybe I can get Tiger Woods on and talk about his problems.
He's not doing much else right now. So yeah.
Right? Like, what's going on, Tiger? Well, all right, guys. All right, we'll be back hopefully next week, same time, same channel. We have Randy Couray, we have Neil, we have Soundcrow, and we'll see y'all next time.
Good night, all.
Out of here.
Peace.
Here, guys.